Commissioner Gordon, Bane has escaped.
Solitude, they fear it as if it were a curse. But what they do not realize is that in solitude lies power. When the noise fades, when the distractions dissolve, you are left with nothing but yourself, raw, unfiltered, and unrelenting. It is in this silence that greatness is conceived. For when the world abandons you, the only voice left is your own, and it whispers not of comfort, but of what must be done. Isolation isn't a retreat, it's a crucible. Picture molten steel being hammered into a blade. The process is violent, the material screams in protest, but the outcome? Precision, strength, purpose. Solitude wields a hammer just as ruthless. Every moment spent alone reshapes you, forces you to examine the fractures in your mind, and dares you to fuse them into something indestructible. In the chaos of company, it's easy to mistake noise for progress. But alone, there are no distractions to hide behind. You either rise or you shatter. Consider the great minds of history. Their solitude wasn't chosen out of luxury, but necessity. Da Vinci spent hours in quiet study deciphering the mechanics of the universe. Nietzsche wandered the mountains, speaking only to the vast silence around him. Their solitude wasn't an escape, it was a summoning. Alone, the world quiets and ideas arrive not as gentle whispers, but roaring floods. Solitude is the storm that clears the mind and rebuilds the soul. There's a peculiar strength in the absence of others. When there's no one to impress, no one to influence, the masks fall away. In solitude, you're confronted with your flaws, every weakness, every failure. But these are not your enemies, they are the mentors you've ignored. In the silence, they mock you, provoke you, and ultimately teach you. The lessons learned in loneliness are the lessons that linger, the ones that forge resilience in the fires of self-reflection. Solitude is not the absence of the world, but a lens to see it clearly. It's like stepping into a dark room and allowing your eyes to adjust until the unseen becomes visible. The noise of life blinds us, but solitude unveils the quiet truths hiding in the corners of existence. It strips you of the trivial and forces focus on what matters. In that focus lies the seed of greatness, planted in the soil of your mind and watered by the tears you shed in silence. People often fear solitude because it feels like emptiness, but emptiness is potential. A blank canvas waiting for bold strokes, a silent room aching for sound. Solitude offers a space to create, to dream without interruption, to sculpt the raw clay of your thoughts into monuments. In the solitude of your mind, greatness begins its murmur. It grows louder with every moment you sit still, unafraid of the silence. Loneliness is not solitude. Loneliness is a cage. Solitude is freedom. One traps you in longing, the other frees you for discovery. Solitude allows you to step outside the prison of societal expectations and explore the wilderness of your own being. It's not comfortable. It's not supposed to be. Greatness doesn't emerge from ease, but from struggle, and solitude provides the arena for that fight. The world praises connection, yet every masterpiece was conceived in isolation. The writer stares into the void of the blank page. The athlete trains in the dark long before the spotlight ever touches their face. The philosopher questions everything, unburdened by the cacophony of popular opinion. Solitude doesn't make you great, it reveals that greatness was always waiting beneath the surface, hidden by the noise of mediocrity. Solitude demands sacrifice. It asks for time, patience, and a willingness to confront demons you've avoided. But it also offers rewards no crowd can bestow: clarity, purpose, vision. These aren't gifts you stumble upon in the chaos of life. They're forged in the quiet stillness of solitude, where your thoughts echo louder than the world's noise. Each sacrifice sharpens the mind and strengthens the resolve. Power craves solitude, for it thrives in spaces where no one can meddle with its evolution. The most original minds do not seek the sanctuary of others. They build their temples in silence, where thoughts echo like prayers. Greatness demands that its creators worship at the altar of solitude, unburdened by the noise of the mundane. It is not isolation, it is devotion. Solitude is a rite, a ritual, a religion for those who refuse to bow to mediocrity. The crowd suffocates the original mind. It binds creativity in chains and drowns ambition beneath the weight of its mediocrity. In solitude, the mind grows untamed, breaking free from these shackles. Alone, ideas are no longer shaped by expectations or dulled by conformity. They sharpen themselves against the blade of independence. Solitude isn't an escape. It's an emancipation, a declaration of sovereignty over the mind. Silence is misunderstood. To the unoriginal, it is emptiness. To the visionary, it is infinite potential. In that vast, quiet expanse, every thought is magnified, every weakness exposed. There is no room to hide, no distractions to obscure failure. And yet, from this vulnerability emerges strength. Solitude forces the mind to confront its chaos, turning raw disorder into a symphony of purpose. Solitude is not the absence of connection, but its elevation. The most powerful minds connect to something far greater than others' fleeting approval. They commune with their purpose, with the essence of who they are meant to become. The noise of others fades, leaving space for the whispers of inspiration to grow louder. In solitude, the visionary doesn't seek to be understood. They seek to create something worth understanding. Greatness has always been a lonely endeavor. The artists who painted worlds, the thinkers who shaped futures, the leaders who carved paths, all found solace in their solitude. Alone, the weight of their visions would crush the average. But to those with powerful minds, solitude is the forge that tempers their strength. It shapes them, molds them, burns them until they shine with the brilliance of their own making. The ordinary despises solitude because it reveals their limitations. The extraordinary embrace it because it magnifies their potential. In the quiet, the mind is forced to stretch beyond what it knows, to question, to rebel, to transcend. Solitude doesn't comfort the great mind, it challenges it. And from that challenge arises clarity, purpose, and unparalleled power. Every original thought is an act of rebellion. The crowd demands uniformity. Solitude insists on individuality. It is only in solitude that the great mind can rebel against the mundane, daring to create something the world has never seen. The religion of solitude doesn't preach compliance. It commands defiance. It demands that its followers destroy the ordinary to create the extraordinary. Solitude is the ultimate act of courage. To stand alone, to think alone, to act alone. That is the path of the powerful. The crowd shouts for validation, but the powerful mind finds its worth in the silence of its own conviction. In solitude, there are no excuses, no distractions, no false comforts. There's only the truth of who you are and the potential of who you could become. Greatness doesn't happen in chaos. It is born in stillness, in the quiet moments when the mind is free to wander, to dream, to create. Solitude is where the impossible becomes plausible and the ordinary becomes extraordinary. It is a process of transformation, painful and relentless, but necessary. To reject solitude is to reject the possibility of greatness. Solitude is liberation. The quiet void where no obligations exist, no voices clawing for your attention, no incessant demands pulling you in every direction. It's a space where you can hear the hum of your own thoughts, no longer drowned out by the cacophony of the world. Here in this raw silence you confront the essence of who you are, unfiltered, unshackled, undeniable. It is both terrifying and intoxicating. The unadulterated clarity solitude brings is the spark for transformation. Obligations are the chains society wraps around your mind, constraining your capacity to think independently. In solitude, the weight of these expectations dissolves. You are no longer the puppet of someone else's desires or ambitions. Alone, you become your own architect. Thoughts flow untainted, free to twist, expand, and evolve without interference. Solitude is the rebellion of the mind against the tyranny of conformity. Great minds do not thrive on the constant validation of others. They grow in isolation where their thoughts are untouchable. Solitude allows you to explore the uncharted territories of your mind, to question, to create, to challenge the boundaries of your own limitations. Without solitude, the noise of the world drowns the whispers of inspiration. But in isolation, the whispers become a roar. The modern world fears solitude. It bombards you with distractions to keep you from being alone with your thoughts. The moment you unplug from the noise, the discomfort of silence reveals the truth. You have become a stranger to your own mind. Solitude, then, is the remedy. It forces you to face the uncomfortable void, and in doing so, reignites your inner power. Obligations are an illusion, a smokescreen crafted to keep you tethered to mediocrity. Solitude strips away this illusion. Alone, you find clarity, the ability to distinguish between what is essential and what is noise. In this space, priorities shift, and the distractions that once seemed vital fall away. Solitude reprograms the mind, sharpening its focus on the path that truly matters. The hero's journey begins in solitude. The moment you step away from the noise, from the endless obligations that sap your energy, you begin to hear the call of your purpose. Solitude does not isolate the powerful, it strengthens them. It is the crucible in which resolve is forged, where the hero is separated from the crowd and emerges as something greater. Without solitude, the hero remains unawakened. Solitude is not the absence of connection, it is the refinement of it. When free from obligations, you reconnect with your essence, with your vision, with the version of yourself you were meant to be. It is here that true alignment occurs, where distractions are cast aside, and every thought, every action becomes a step toward greatness. The noise is not where growth happens. Growth is found in the stillness. The weak mistake solitude for loneliness, but the strong understand it as a weapon. Alone, you gain perspective, recalibrate, and prepare for the battles ahead. Solitude is not retreat. It is strategy. It is where plans are drawn, where weaknesses are studied, where strengths are cultivated. Without solitude, greatness is unachievable, for it is in the quiet moments that revolutions are born. In solitude, you master the art of discernment. The fog of obligations clears, leaving only clarity and conviction. Decisions become sharper, guided not by the fleeting opinions of others, but by the raw authenticity of your own mind. This is the birthplace of resilience, where your inner compass is recalibrated to lead you toward the extraordinary. Solitude is the battlefield where potential is both revealed and tested. Strip away the layers of the superficial, the distractions that society dangles before your eyes. What remains? A raw, untamed force yearning to be shaped. Maslow's hierarchy whispers its truth in the shadows. Survival is instinct, but greatness is a choice. Solitude allows you to climb from mere existence to self-actualization, one deliberate step at a time. In isolation, you are no longer tethered to the expectations of others. You are free to construct your kingdom. Physiological needs may anchor you to the physical world, but solitude awakens a higher hunger. Alone, you can listen to the gnawing of your mind, that relentless whisper demanding more than food or shelter. Safety becomes a secondary concern as you begin to crave fulfillment. Solitude fuels this hunger, feeding your ascent up the pyramid toward purpose and understanding. In the silence, you build not just walls for protection, but foundations for transcendence. Belonging fades into irrelevance when you embrace solitude. The need for approval, for validation, dissolves. The spotlight of your awareness shifts inward, illuminating potential you were too distracted to see. In solitude, you become your own companion, your own rival, your own muse. It is here that you sever the chains of dependency and realize that fulfillment is not found in the crowd, but in the recesses of your untapped mind. Esteem, that elusive elixir of confidence, is no longer sought externally. Solitude teaches you to earn it, to create it from your accomplishments, your mastery, your understanding of self. In isolation, you discover that esteem built on the applause of others crumbles under the weight of adversity. Solitude shows you the unshakable power of esteem forged in the crucible of introspection and perseverance. As you ascend, self-actualization looms like a shadowy peak, unattainable to those chained to mediocrity. Solitude equips you with the tools to climb, to confront the demons of doubt and the specters of fear. It forces you to confront the raw potential within, to chisel it into something extraordinary. The pyramid narrows at the top, and solitude ensures you have the focus and fortitude to reach it. Maslow spoke of transcendence, the stage beyond self-actualization. In solitude, you taste its forbidden fruit. The noise of the world, the chaos of distraction fades to insignificance. In this void, you create meaning. Solitude reveals that transcendence is not a gift bestowed, but a prize earned through relentless introspection and unyielding ambition. Alone, you glimpse the infinite. Isolation is not the absence of connection, but the forging of a deeper one, with yourself, with your potential, with the universe. Solitude is where you align your ambition with action, your dreams with discipline. It strips you of pretense and demands authenticity. It is in this stillness that greatness is not just imagined, but actualized. Society fears solitude, for it cannot control the one who masters it. In the quiet, you become a threat to the mediocrity the world so desperately cultivates. Solitude is rebellion, a rejection of distraction, an embrace of purpose. It is where you plan your ascension, where you align your will with your destiny. Solitude is not loneliness, it is liberation. It is not emptiness, but potential waiting to be filled. The finest moments in life are born from struggle, not ease. Comfort lulls the mind into complacency, but challenge awakens a primal force within. Stretching yourself, your body, your mind, until every fiber feels the strain of effort is where life truly begins. The violinist, drenched in sweat, carving harmony from chaos, understands this. The swimmer slicing through water with a fury born of determination knows it too. These are not acts of relaxation. They are declarations of existence, fierce and undeniable. It is the effort, not the outcome, that defines the experience. Building a tower of blocks with trembling hands or battling the resistance of water in a pool are acts of creation. Each movement, each decision, pushes you beyond the limits you thought were impenetrable. The goal is not perfection, but growth, a relentless evolution towards something greater. In this stretching of self, you find a flicker of divinity, a spark that whispers, "This is what you were made for." Comfort is a lie. It tells you to rest, to be satisfied with the mediocrity that envelops the world. But satisfaction without effort is hollow, a feast that starves the soul. True fulfillment comes from striving, from pouring every ounce of yourself into the task at hand. Whether you succeed or fail is irrelevant. The battle itself transforms you. Each challenge met reshapes the mind, carving pathways of resilience and courage, where once there was only fear. The world does not celebrate passive observers. It reveres those who fight. The swimmer who races against himself, the child who defies gravity with her tower of blocks. These are the heroes of their own stories. They do not wait for life to hand them meaning. They seize it, molding it with hands raw from the labor. In this act of defiance, they discover what it means to live. Effort is the ultimate rebellion against mediocrity. Every struggle, every drop of sweat is a refusal to be ordinary. It is a declaration that you will not be bound by the limits set before you. Each voluntary challenge is a step toward greatness, a climb that leaves the shallow pleasures of comfort far below. The mind sharpened by effort becomes a weapon, slicing through the illusions of ease and exposing the raw power of what is possible. Stretching yourself is not merely a personal act. It is a challenge to the universe itself. To push beyond your limits is to spit in the face of entropy, to say, "I am not finished yet." Each step forward is a rebellion against the inevitable decay. Reminder that life is not measured in years, but in moments of pure, unrelenting effort. These moments, crafted by sweat and willpower, are eternal. Solitude amplifies this process. Alone with your task, there are no distractions, no excuses. You face yourself in the rawest form, stripped of pretense. The violinist mastering a passage, the runner chasing a time. These are acts born of solitude. They are conversations with the self, dialogues that demand honesty and courage. Solitude sharpens the focus, turning effort into art. Effort is where passion meets discipline, where dreams collide with reality. It is the crossroads of ambition and action, a place where many falter but few thrive. Those who persevere do so not for glory, but for the transformation that comes with it. In the stretching of the mind and body, you become something else, something stronger, something unstoppable. The best moments in life are not gifts, they are forged. They are the towers built block by block, the laps swum stroke by stroke. They are the echoes of a violin, played with hands that have known both failure and triumph. These moments are born of struggle and solitude, of effort and determination. They are the heartbeats of a life lived fully. Distraction is the killer of dreams, the destroyer of potential. Solitude removes its fangs, leaving you alone with the task of building. In this isolation, time bends to your will, moments stretching into hours as focus deepens. The mind, unshackled by triviality, discovers clarity and purpose. Solitude sharpens your thinking, revealing answers buried beneath layers of societal static. Innovation is born in the absence of interference. Flow is not merely productivity, it is transcendence. It is the state where every action, every thought aligns with purpose. Solitude is its gateway, requiring discipline and mastery over the urge to escape discomfort. It demands that you sit in the void, channeling your energy into creation. In solitude, flow becomes second nature, propelling you toward greatness with ruthless efficiency. The world fears the thinker in solitude. A mind left to its devices is a weapon, capable of dismantling conventions and rebuilding reality. Solitude grants the courage to question, to explore the forbidden, to embrace the ideas others deem dangerous. It is here that boundaries dissolve and the impossible becomes merely a challenge waiting to be overcome.